What's going on YouTube? Back with another video. Today I think I'm going to look into doing some repairs on the S14 after the last event, and I'll put the back into a wall. Nothing out of the ordinary there, hitting walls. Bit of a standard ritual for all drift events apparently. But yeah, I think it was the day after the drift event I took a sledgehammer to the back of the car just to see what I was looking at, to see if I had to cut it off and do like a tube rear or whether I was going to be able to just bash it out. I think I'm just going to rock the bashed out for now. It's got a few more hits in it before I'll have to cut it off and do a tubed rear. So this is what it looks like now. Still pretty beaten up, but it's still pretty warped. Still needs a bit of work. Sorry if there's some background noise, Mum's mowing the lawn over there. And yeah, we're working outside on this lovely patch of grass because Ben's kicked me out of the shed because his car's in there. But the real shed's coming along. Super keen to get in that. Got a bit more things to do before we can get in there, but it's definitely getting close. But yeah, I've bashed that out a bit and I've just picked myself up a tail light. It's a Series 1 tail light, so it's a bit different. It was 50 bucks though instead of 200 bucks, so probably just going to try and get it in there and then maybe nightshade it all so it doesn't look too different. But I didn't even realise that this is like smooth and this is like staggered and shit, so might look a bit funky, but yeah, I'll get a Series 2 one eventually again probably. Also with my dump pipe, that copped a little bit of a crumple, so here it was all crumpled and bent in. Took it around to me mate's exhaust shop and he put it in the bender and just sort of squashed it back out, so that shouldn't give me any dramas. How's the overspray on it? Shocking. So yeah, I should be able to get that back in. But the worst part from me putting it into the wall is the exhaust manifold. So when I hit the wall, the exhaust got pushed hard up this way and it actually hit against the wastegate there. So it smacked against the wastegate. I've pulled off the heat wrap because of that right there. It's pushed on this and just completely cracked it there. So I'm gonna have to re-weld it and hope it works. It looks like shit now with all the heat wrap all ruined. It was all brittle as well. Oh well, you gotta do these things. So yeah, Blake's on his way around. Hopefully, he's coming around today with his welder, and we're actually gonna be welding up a tyre rack for my trailer because in 2 weeks' time I want to go to Mount Gambier, which is about 4 hours away, do the legal street drifting event that AdamLz is coming to Australia and doing as well. It's the Drift Challenge Australia series. I think it'll be really sick. Hopefully put some tyre marks on AdamLz's door. That would be hectic. But yeah, basically it's a 3-day Matsuri event. They closed down a section of road for it and I need 3 days worth of tyres. So got to weld up a bit of a tyre rack. That's in another video. Good chance you'll probably see that video before this video because I don't know when I'm going to finish this video and when I'm going to finish prepping the car, but it's probably all just going to be in the one video. So there's a good chance you've already seen the tyre rack get made, and if you haven't already seen it, go watch it. But I think my first move is going to be basically just manipulating that to get that in there. So at the moment, that's what we're looking at. It's does not want to go in there. It's pretty crumpled, so it's going to need some panel beating. Might look a tad funny with the Series 1, but might just tint it really dark so you can't really tell. I hope it still fits in there, but yeah, we'll make it work. Drift car life, MacGyver, and yeah, I'm going to get an assortment of hammers out, persuading sticks, and see what I can do with this tail light. So here are some of the tools we're going to be using today. Big sledgy, not so big sledgy, hammer, and some plier grippy thingamabobbies. Now I'm just going to do a little time lapse of me doing some manipulating. That's like a bought one right there. Alright, making some progress. It's starting to look like a rear end again, somewhat. It's not too bad. It's good enough for now. I'm just going to keep hacking at it like every time I hit the rear end until the rear's just completely shagged, and I just cut it all off and do a tubed rear and make it all fancy. But this will do for now. I'm going to go get some nightshade though, and I think I'm going to mask up this tail light the same as this. So I'm going to mask these bits first just to try it, and then just nightshade those areas to try and make it look like a Series 2 tail light. I think it'll work. So it happens. So yeah, I'm going to go get some nightshade and I'll be back. Alright, it's a few days later from the footage you were just watching, and we're back working on this thing, fixing her up. Rear tail lights are getting there, so we're going to do that nightshade, so I'll either do that tonight or tomorrow. It's slowly looking like a rear end again though. But yeah, going to try and make that look like a Series 2. I've put the exhaust back on, and the dump pipe, that was good fun. But the dump pipe's not crinkled anymore down there. But yeah, I think I showed you earlier, but as you can see, we've got a hectic crack in there. Blake's left his welder here from when we made the tyre rack for the trailer. Also just dumped the old oil out of it. It's a bit dirty. This bucket was dirty, but surprisingly and amazingly, the oil wasn't milky. So super stoked about that. I don't think I actually have a blown head gasket. It's just, I think the last oil change I did, the not letting the car warm up, the condensation from the ethanol, milky oil, yeah, no good. But yeah, that oil's seen a few laps up the street and a full last drift day I did, and yeah, it was dirty, but not too bad. Righto, got the welder set it up. Ground clamp on the wastegate down there, and yeah, gonna try pump that crack with some weld. Hopefully it goes alright. My welding's not to write about, but give it my best shot. Well, I've pumped it with weld. Don't judge, it was hard to get to. But yeah, it's probably one of the worst welds I've ever seen, but it is pumped, and I'm going to put oil in the motor and see if it leaks. I'm not going to try hit it with a grinder as much as I can, because it looks like a pass. Well, if it doesn't leak, I'll be happy. Alright, so I just started the motor back up, and it's still got a leak in the exhaust manifold. It's in a spot that I can't get to with the welding torch. Absolutely gutted. I'm going to have to pull the manifold and turbo off so I can weld it properly. So I'm going to get ripping into that, and probably won't finish it tonight, but yeah, I'm probably just going to jump to when I've got it all off. Alrighty. Manifold's off. Sitting over here. That was an absolute nightmare. Not fun. And now I'm covered head to toe in fiberglass off that heat wrap, which is going to be coming off now that the manifold's out. Might rewrap it, but it's just itchy, annoying stuff. It looks good, but yeah. So now I'm going to clean up the bay. It is absolutely filthy. But yeah, stoked I actually got it off tonight. I was very surprised, but yeah, I'm going to cut to when I continue on prepping this piece of shit for Mount Gambier. Alrighty, so it's the next day. We're back on the grind, back working on the broken piece of shit. But yeah, I think my first move's just going to be ripping off the rest of this wrapping shit, and then I'm going to grind this absolute booger down here, grind all that down, and attempt to properly weld up that and the cracks I missed. Get all that cleaned up, and then I'm going to get that back on the car. I'll have to clean up that metal gasket and hopefully reuse it. Well, I think it's fair to say that it's probably not going to be leaking or cracking anytime soon. Yeah, I just pumped it with more boogers. Boogers on boogers on boogers on blokes on blokes, really. Welding's definitely something I do want to get good at. I'm keen when we get into the proper shed over there to get a TIG weld and do some practicing, but for now, I'm just shooting boogers on shits. But oh well, it should work. Hopefully it's not leaking anymore. I just kept pumping it because I didn't want to put it back on there and then to keep leaking and me have to take it off, because it is not fun to take off. So hopefully it's all sealed up. It's definitely not the prettiest thing I've ever seen, but whatever. Alrighty, turbo and manifold is back in there and bolted up. All the lines are hooked up. It's a good feeling. It's not a heap of fun, but yeah, I forgot to put this back on as I was putting the manifold back on. Now it won't fit. So I'm going to pull the rocker cover off. The rocker cover gasket isn't a genuine Nissan one and it's leaking, so I think I'm just going to pull the rocker cover off completely and probably just glue the rocker cover gasket in so it stops leaking everywhere. That'd be nice. Rightio, got the rocker cover off and I just cleaned up the surface around the outside there. And I just cleaned up this one as well. I'm just going to pump silicone in that groove around there and on the spark plug gasket as well, and glue it into that, and then maybe put glue down on the head as well. It's not really going to sit there when I put the gasket on, but yeah, something like that. Alright, I'm going to let that gasket glue dry up before I glue the head and glue it onto there. So I'm just going to cut till tomorrow when I continue on repairing the broken piece of shit. Alrighty, so it's the next day. I'm filming on my phone. I hope the quality is alright, but my big camera's on charge, so I'm going to use this for now. It's an S10, so it should be alright. I've used it before too, but I've just glued the rocker cover on and put the coil packs in. I just glued the other side of that seal and the spark plug seal as well, gasket, plonked it on, tightened it all down, put this fitting on for my catch can, so that should be all sweet to go. We've just been cranking on the shed out there all day, but I figured I'd get in here tonight and just do a little bit more because it's like 4 days from when I have to have this thing all tested and ready to go and on a trailer, so for Mount Gambier. So I figured I better do a bit. I think we're going to change the master cylinder out now. Yeah, I think my first move is going to be swapping this master cylinder out so I can hopefully get the back brakes to bleed up. I'm thinking that's what the issue is with them. Yeah, got my other one over here. It's a little bit different. I don't know if I showed you this before, but it's got 2 ports for the front, 1 port for the rear. So it's actually for a non-ABS, whereas this one was ABS. I did an ABS delete. And the front brake lines come into a T-piece just there, and then 1 port up to there. So I'm hoping I can take them out of that T-piece and they'll reach to here. If not, I might block the other end of that T-piece. That one will definitely reach, and then I'll just keep that existing line coming off the T-piece into there. Alright, just pulling the master cylinder out now. And she's away. So there's just those 2 brake lines, 2 bolts to the brake booster. Alrighty, so I got the new brake master cylinder in there. What I ended up doing was just blocking off the T-piece here, and then the line runs over to there, and then the other front brake line goes to there, and then the rears. So that's all good. Now, I just had Ben in here helping me bleed the brakes, bled it all up, and still had the same issue. Didn't fix shit, 250 bucks later. So I jumped on Googled it. Turns out I'm 80% sure that my second pair of calipers in the rear are on the wrong side of the car. Apparently they have a left and a right calipers. So yeah, the bleed nipple has to be at the top, not the bottom. It's the next day, we're back out here grinding on the broken piece of shit. I just swapped the calipers over either side, and I need to get a new brake line fitting because it's just not going to work. So I'm going to get that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I'm attempting to make half a side skirt. Alright, here's my masterpiece so far. I wasn't going to do any filming, but I thought I'd just show you a little bit of what I'm attempting to do. So there's that hacked up side skirt. It got ran over by everyone at the last Keep It Reet. Pretty chopped up. And now I'm getting cardboard, moulding it to somewhat of the shape I want, and then I'm just going to attempt to smash a heap of fiberglass on there and do sanding and bogging and fiberglassing and attempt to tight ass Terry my way out of it and get another side skirt. Don't know if it's going to work. I haven't looked up whether people actually do this or not. I'm not sure if it's a thing, but I thought, why not? Fiberglass is pretty strong, and I even picked up some of this woven cloth. Looks super strong, so yeah, see what happens. I'll check back in when I've got more happening. Alright, just laid down my first thing of fiberglass for the side skirt. There she is, looking pretty haggard. That's just going to be my starting point, and then when that's set tomorrow, I'll pull it off and probably, I don't know, something, pump it with more fiberglass. Interesting, but it's worth a shot. The side skirt was going to go in the bin, so if this doesn't work, it will go in the bin. Anyway, while that's doing that, come over here, and I've just been trying to mock up my Series 2 tail light. So I've just masked off all the areas that I don't want black. As you can see, I'm trying to do those black bits there. So just going to spray that with a lot of nightshade, because that is like really dark. So I'm just going to coat that right up and see what happens. If it comes out like shit, I'm just going to nightshade all the tail lights, the middle piece, and either side just really dark, so you can really tell that it's Series 1, Series 2. Got some duplicated black nightshade. Give it a shake. Alrighty, giving the can a good shake up. Now I'm just going to do a coat, and then coat, and then coat, and more coats. It might look a bit different, because this is probably going to be quite glossy. See what happens. We'll work it out. We'll get it good enough. That is runny stuff. Probably shouldn't put any more on there yet. It's quite glossy. Interesting. Also picked up some high temp paint that apparently is for exhaust manifolds. I did a light little coat in there earlier. I'm going to do another coat now. It's probably just going to flake off anyway, but yeah, worth a shot. Try to stop that weld from rusting and whatnot. Alright, this is dried enough. I stood on the cardboard and it flipped over and I got dirt and crap on it, but give it another coat. New coil packs and block offs. Give it a dose, brah. Well, it looks kind of cool. I cocked this bit up. That yellow shouldn't be visible there. I put the line in the wrong spot. But, yeah, it looks kind of cool. But it's definitely no Series 2 tail light. If I wanted it to be perfect, I could tape these up and spray those bits in nightshade. But I don't have time for that. And I can't really be asked doing that. So, I don't know. I'll either just rock it or just spray it all with nightshade, like a light coat maybe. So I just decided to go for a light coat of nightshade on everything, just to try and make it blend in a bit better. So I did a nice light coat on that, just one, literally just then. Series 2, Series 1. I mean, I don't think that's too bad of a difference. Be curious to know what they look like bolted in, but did the middle piece as well. Yeah, I think it'll come out alright. Well, here we have it. I think it actually looks half decent for my first layer of fiberglass and bodywork. Alrighty, it's the next day. We're back out here working on the broken piece of shit again. Got the night shaded tail lights in there, and I had to weld up a bit of metal along there because that was broken. Put this pin back in. Also got the rear bar on. Did a little bit of cable tie drift stitching on that. But yeah, it all lines up half decent. I'll give you a look. Pins work nicely. Yeah, that's how she come up. Not bad considering. Cost me next to nothing and took me absolutely no time at all, so I thought that was alright. What bloody wall? I had to cut a bit out of the bar here. It's still hitting on the exhaust. The exhaust is probably just going to melt its way through. That's alright. Now with the side skirt, last night I put some matting over the top of the cloth, and yeah, I ran out of resin, or hardener for the resin, so I just made up what I could with what hardener I had, and it's not really going off. Still a little bit soft and it's not real. It's a bit gooey and wet still. That's hard there. But I'm thinking I'll just smack this heavy duty fiberglass filler on there, and then hope it's got enough strength. Yeah, dodgy. Rightio, so I've pumped it with a fair whack of fiberglass reinforced bog. Slowly getting there. It's almost dry now too, because I was hitting it with the blowtorch. So I can almost sand that back, and then I'll need more normal bog in there. And then I need to do something about this as well, that's all. It's shagged, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so just a little bit of an update. So I haven't been filming heaps, but short time frame, and I'm just trying to smash it out and get it done. But the car's pretty much finished. Got all the calipers hooked up and bled properly, and it's all good. So I've got rear brakes on the foot pedal again. It's been a while. So yeah, I'm going to be focusing on this side skirt, I think. Starting to look alright. So I need to get rid of that cardboard. But I've got that fiberglass bog down there. I've picked up more fiberglass and pissed the cardboard off. Fiberglass the back of it to stick it to this skirt. So I can then get rid of where it's sticking to it at the moment. Put some more standard bog over that. Start getting it to look a bit nicer. Do something with that. Need to chuck the tyre rack on the trailer. Put some pins through where it slots in on the trailer so it can't come out. Brought the boss's Land Cruiser home because I'm going to be painting that out in the paddock. I've been working on this during work hours. Sparky paints a car. That was pretty sick. Old Cruiser with a 350 Chev in it. Should hopefully come up alright. How beautiful is that, Nuggers?
Mint, mate. Mint.
Just cruising. Skyline, 2 skylines in front of us. Alright, so I just thought I'd wrap up that video. I'm driving right now. We're on our way to Mount Gambier. This is going to be a new video, so stay tuned. It's all happening. It's going to be a mental weekend. But yeah, I've just been flat out getting the car ready for this event, so didn't have time to really film much more or end the last video. So just a little wrap up. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a bit all over the shop, I think, but yeah, stay tuned. Next video is going to be insane. We're on our way to Mount Gambier now. 3-day drift Matsuri. AdamLz is going to be there in his 180 SX that Luke Fink's been building in Australia, the replica of his one in the States. Yeah, no, it's going to be sick. It's Thursday night now. Tomorrow's drifting, Saturday and Sunday. 3 days of carnage. It's going to be mental, but yeah, my side skirt that I was working on came out alright. If you want to see what it looks like, just stay tuned for the next video and you'll see it. Yeah, peace.